Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Welcome to you, dear students, in this course, Translating Text Types, with me, Yahya Rababa'ah. This is the second lecture, or lecture number 2, and the title of the lecture is Translation Studies and Samples of Text Types. We're going to talk about translation studies as a whole concept, and as we have to look at some samples of text types. Let's begin. What is the word or this concept, translation studies? It is translation studies is now understood to refer to the academic discipline concerned with the study of translation at large, including literary and non-literary translation, various forms of oral interpreting, as well as dubbing and subtitling. So this is what we call translation studies. It is talking about the process of translating at large. تتكلم عن الترجمة بشكل عام, including literary and non-literary translation. Literary ترجمة أدبية, non-literary غير أدبية. كان زمان كثير في ترجمات معتمدة على الترجمة الأدبية. Now we are talking about not just literary translation, we are talking about a non-literary translation, various forms of oral interpreting. And you know, oral interpreting, that means translating orally between two people who are talking, one in, for example, talking Arabic language, and then there is an interpreter that is talking in English language after he finishes, for example, some certain sentences, as well as dubbing and subtitling. Dubbing, that means means, you know, the way that people used to do in some, for example, series or films. You just see the man who's talking in English, for example, or the actor talking in English, but somebody will talk over his voice in Arabic language. Dubbing, يعني الدبلجة, and subtitling, which is الترجمة المرئية, which that can you see at the bottom of the screen each time. This quotation is taken from the Encyclopedia of Translation Studies, edited by Mona Baker, and it is also an article written by Mona Baker as well. So what is the relation between the translation studies and the text types? We have to think of that. Now we are talking about translation studies, and so the main purpose of our course is to talk about translating text types. So the text types and translation studies, what is the relation between them? Look, you can look at this figure or chart, which is in Jeremy Monday's book Introducing Translation Studies. And as you see, it is James Holmes' map. It's called like this. يعني هذا أعد واحد اسمه James Holmes. And this shows us our location as text type issues. Look at this, translation studies, that means دراسات الترجمة. It is divided into two parts, pure and applied. Pure بحتة, applied تطبيقية. Now the pure translation studies are divided into two, theoretical and descriptive. And the theoretical is divided into two, general and partial. And the partial is divided into many. I'm sorry, not two. We have medium restricted, and we have area restricted, rank restricted, text type restricted, time restricted, problem restricted. Now we can see where the location, where the location of text type is. Here, it is here, which is now inside the red circle here. So this is why I just wanted to show you where we are going and what we are doing and what is our relation with the translation studies as a whole. Okay. Now let's go to some practical things. Now بعض الأشياء العملية. نحتاج أن نعرف بعض أو نرى ونقرأ معا بعض النصوص باللغة العربية وباللغة الإنجليزية حتى نفرق بين أنماط هذه النصوص. We are going to see about 9 texts. 9 texts. The first text text 1, it is from the Holy Quran. Look at this. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. So, this is a text, a holy text from the Holy Quran, and you are going to just to determine which sort of text is it, which text type is it, so that you can use the strategies, some certain strategies in translating such a text or a text type like this. هل نترجم هل الاستراتيجيات التي تستخدمها في ترجمة هذا النص هي مشابهة لاستراتيجيات أخرى سنستخدمها في ترجمة نص آخر؟ No. لا، قطعا لا. هذا النص, when you want to translate such a text, you need to know the features of this text, and you need to know also the strategies that are very important to let you go on translating this text. Look at that. Text 2. We have another text. Number 2. Dear valued customer. It is in English, and it is talking to customer. You know customer and زبون. Now this is another text. Is this text like the first one, like text number 1? It is not like the first text, which is number 1. It is another text totally talking about something else, and its features and its main important relations and features are totally different from the text 1 we have talked about, which is taken from the Holy Quran, from Surah Al-Ikhlas. Dear valued customer, talking about زبون. In order to make your online banking experience more secure, we have improved the username and password rules. If you are facing difficulties logging into our internet mobile banking, then perhaps your username and password does not comply to the rules that we have applied. In such a case, please contact the call center and the number, to reset your al-mubashir access. This would require you to register for online banking again by accessing the following link, and comply to the username and password rules that are mentioned below. أنا جبت هذا حتى نعرف إنه هذا نص مختلف تماما عن النص الأول. إذن when you want to translate this, you have to follow certain ways that is different from translating the first one. So you have something, it's talking about customer, talking about banking, passwords, talking about mobile banking and so on, some call center numbers, we have some links, and we have these are the features of this text. So it is not like the first text. Now when you translate such a text, you have to follow certain different strategies in translating such a text. Now please look at text 3. I hope I can go through the 9 texts. We have this one. Look, it is in Arabic. هذا في اللغة العربية وهو نص يتكلم عن مرض. اخترته من أجل أن نرى كيف يختلف كل نص عن الآخر، كيف أن هذا النص أن نمط هذا النص مختلف عن نمط النص الآخر. وهذا المقصود في كل هذا الكورس، أن نفرق بين النصوص وأنماطها، وبالتالي نفرق بين طريقة ترجمتها. لا نتكلم عن ترجمة فقط المعاني، نحن نريد استراتيجيات عامة تتبع لترجمة كل نص أو كل نمط نص مختلف عن الأخرى. شوفوا، الزحار العصوي مرض إنتاني يمتاز تشريحيا بالتهاب الأمعاء الغليظة، يسببه عصيات من نوع شيغلا، وتدخل إلى الجسم بالطريق المعدي المعوي بواسطة الطعام والماء والأصابع الملوثة، وتنطرح الجراثيم بعدد وافر أثناء الدور الحاد للمرض مع البراز السائل، وقد يكون ذلك خلال دور النقاهة وحتى بعد شفاء المريض تماما. وقد يظهر الزحار بشكل وبائي حيث يتجمع الناس وتنعدم الشروط الصحية والنظافة، وتساعد شروط الطقس الحار في البلاد الاستوائية على انتشار المرض بواسطة الذباب. This is a text, and it is not like the first and the second text that we have just read. So this text is full of words، في كلمات مهمة ويجب أن تكون تعرف معناها بالضبط. تشريحيا، مرض إنتاني، الزحار نفسه، عصيات، شيغلة، هذه الأمور you have to know these things. You have to know what does each word mean in its own context، يعني في سياقها حتى كمصطلح في يتكلم عن الأمراض. So we are talking about a disease, and this disease is as you see maybe you know and here or there comes in exactly في مناطق اللي تنعدم فيها الشروط الصحية وخاصة مثلا في المناطق الاستوائية. So this is a disease. This is we are talking about a disease. This disease or the way that we talk about disease is not the way like the way we talk about, for example, text 1 and text 2, which is talking about customer and banking and online banking and so on. Yes. Look at text 4. Text 4. What do we have? Harrington returned to Harrington returned no answer. Harrington, do you hear? Get off with you, he said furiously. Let me take that pipe, she said cautiously, advancing her hand and removing it from his mouth. Before he could attempt to get it back, it was broken and thrown in the fire. He swore at her and seized another. Stop, she cried. You must listen to me first, and I can't speak with those clouds floating in my face. This is a part of a novel. You know, a novel, a long story talking about someone. So this is a novel. The novel is totally different from the Holy Quran, is totally different from a customer leaflet, is totally different from a disease description, and so on. So we have to think of a way, of a strategy, of maybe many strategies in translating such a novel. A novel, it is exactly for maybe entertainment or maybe somebody who wants to express about himself. So this part or this part of text is taken from a novel, and I think it is the Wuthering Heights novel written by Emily Bronte. Okay, let's go to text number 5. Text number 5. Look at this. It is in Arabic, and it is taken from a speech, a formal speech by the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. Look at this. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الهادي الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أيها الإخوة الكرام في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهنئكم بعيد الفطر المبارك وقيام الشهر الفضيل، وأخاطبكم من رحاب البلد الحرام ومهد رسالة الإسلام وقبلة المسلمين التي انطلق منها نور الهداية الربانية ليضيء للبشرية طريق الخير والسلام، لتشكل حضارته أهم روافد التحضر الإنساني والإبداع البشري. ولا غاية لهذا الخير الذي أجراه الله تعالى على يد معلم البشرية وهاديها نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم سوى إخراج العالم من غياهب الظلام والاستبداد والجهالة إلى نور الحق والمساواة والعدالة، مع رفع راية التسامح والتعايش والحكمة والرشد والدعوة إلى كلمة سواء تخرج بها البشرية من ظلمات جهلها وشحنائها وتناحرها إلى نور ربها الهادي إلى سواء الصراط. This is a text. وهل هذا النص مثل النصوص الأخرى؟ هل يمكن أن نتعامل معه أثناء الترجمة بنفس الطريقة التي نتعامل معها بترجمتنا للنصوص الأخرى؟ النص الرواية أنت يمكن أن تكون حر في ترجمة نص الرواية، أحيانا تغير أسماء، بدل ما تحط هاريتون تجيب اسم عربي مثلا، لكن هنا أنت أمام خطاب رسمي مليء بالكلمات ومليء بالمعاني والجمل القوية المتزنة الدقيقة. لذلك ترجمتك يجب أن تكون بهذا المستوى من الدقة والمعرفة. Okay, let's go to text number 6. Look at this. It says, she dwelt among the untrodden ways, besides the springs of Dove, a maid, whom there were none to praise and very few to love, a violet by a mossy stone, half hidden from the eye, fair as a star when only one is shining in the sky. She lived unknown and few could know when Lucy ceased to be, but she is in her grave, I know the difference to me. What is this? This is a poem by the famous poet English poet William Wordsworth. Now, this is a poem, and this poem, when you just want to translate such a poem, you have to think also about the way to translate a poem. A poem has, for example, we have قافية, rhyme, we have meters and so on. We have يعني عندنا الوزن الشعري، عندنا قافية، وعندنا معاني. What should you take care of when you are translating some text like this? And certainly, absolutely, this text is totally different from the texts that we have just encountered before. Let's go to text number 7. This text is in Arabic. هذا بالعربي، ملخص رسالة ماجستير. أخذناه من أحد الرسائل الماجستير حتى قد نعلم ماذا يحدث لما تساوي ملخص لرسالة ماجستير. هدف هذا البحث إلى التعرف أهم مهارات التعبير الفني في التربية الفنية المناسب لطلاب الصف السادس الابتدائي، وإعداد برنامج حاسوبي مقترح في التربية الفنية لتنمية مهارات التعبير الفني لدى طلاب الصف السادس الابتدائي. كمل وتحت. واتبع البحث المنهج التجريبي على عينة من طلاب الصف السادس. لما نقول منهج التجريبي, this is a word. It is something related to just scientific research. على عينة من طلاب الصف السادس الابتدائي بلغ عددهم 38 طالبا، تم تقسيمهم إلى مجموعتين. المجموعة التجريبية درست باستخدام البرنامج الحاسوبي وعددها 19 طالبا، بينما المجموعة الضابطة، هذا كمان ايش يعني مجموعة ضابطة، درست بالطريقة المعتادة وعددها 19 طالبا، وتم تطبيق التجربة وفق برنامج حاسوبي مقترح من إعداد الباحث بعدما تم تحديد مهارات التعبير الفني المناسبة لعينة البحث. وقام الباحث بإعداد مقياس مهارات التعبير الفني، وأظهرت نتائج البحث بأنه وجدت فروق دالة إحصائية بين المجموعة التجريبية والضابطة في المهارات الست لصالح المجموعة التجريبية. كان للبرنامج الحاسوبي المقترح فاعلية عالية ناتجة عن أثر كبير في تنمية مهارات التعبير الفني لدى طلاب الصف السادس الابتدائي. So, we're talking about, a summary of or abstract of a thesis. Thesis يعني رسالة ماجستير أو رسالة دكتوراه. So, this is summary. Is it like the texts that we have just talked about? Is it like the poem? Should we just translate that in the way and that we translate texts like a poem or a Holy Quran verse or something like this? No. It has its own features. So it has its own ways of approaching to translating some thing like this, some text like this. So يعني هذا نمط من أنماط النصوص مختلف. يعني هذه أنماط النصوص نتكلم عنها. نتكلم عن أنماط مختلفة من النصوص، منها يعني الحين راح نتكلم عنها في النهاية، لكن وديت إنه نعرض كل هذه الأنماط من النصوص حتى يتسنى لنا معرفة ما معنى فكرة نمط النص. Okay, look at this. Small change. هذا مأخوذ من من صحيفة الإيكونومست في جولاي 16 1998، وأنا أخذته بالعمدة من مجلة قديمة أو من مقالة قديمة. For some certain purposes when we are going to approach translation like راح نترجم جزء من هذا النص ونشوف بعض الأشياء المتعلقة بترجمة النصوص الاقتصادية بالذات. شوف small change, hopes deferred rather than hopes dashed. That sums up the reaction of the transport lobby to the 1.8 billion pounds in additional funding over the next 3 years that was announced this week, representing a 25% increase in comparison with a 25% cut in the last parliament. The concession is an important breakthrough for which local authorities have long campaigned. London First, a business pressure group, estimated in a study published last month that a non-residential parking tax levied at an average of £750 per parking space in central and outer London could raise £300 million per year, enough, for example, to bridge the investment backlog of London's underground. So it is talking about something related to numbers, currency, عملة, أرقام, and some percentages, and some names and some idioms related to London and to to the environment there. هذا نص مختلف عن النصوص الأخرى، في أرقام، فيها نسب مئوية، وفي أيضا بعض المصطلحات، وفي أيضا بعض الأشياء المتعلقة بالثقافة البريطانية. Okay, إذن if we want to translate that into Arabic, do we use the same strategies that we use to translate the other texts? No, we have to use some certain strategies that will enable us to translate in a very coherent way. Look at this. This is the last one, I think. Okay, text 9. إن وادي رم ذو الجمال الطبيعي الفاتن يلخص رومانسية الصحراء بأودتها القديمة الشبيهة بسطح القمر والتلال الرملية التي ترتفع فوق الأرض. وعلاوة على ذلك فوادي رم يعتبر مسكنا للعديد من القبائل البدوية التي تعيش في مخيمات متناثرة في المنطقة. إذن هذا نص، وكما تشاهدون كما يمكن أن تدرك أنه نص مختلف تماما عن النصوص الأخرى، وهذا النمط مختلف عن الأنماط الأخرى من النصوص. إذن لما تيجي تترجم when you want to translate such a text, you have to take or to follow some certain strategies that are suitable for translating such texts, and to bear in your mind, for example, many factors when you are translating such a text. Okay, and you see this may be something that will make people come to that place, will make you come to that place, will make people like that place and think of coming to that place and paying money there. So this is what we call, we're not going to talk about that now, but the most important is that this is a text type. This is a text type that is different from the other texts that we have talked before. Now look, are all those texts of the same text type? هذا سؤال. Are all those texts of the same text type? كلهم من نفس النوع? Can you translate all of them following the same strategy or the same strategies? تقدر ترجمها كلها بنفس الطريقة؟ So this is what we call text types. هذه كل الأمثلة حتى نضعكم في مفهوم نمط النص. هذه أنماط نصوص مختلفة، كل نص جبناه من جهة مختلفة أو من طبيعة مختلفة، فله وكل نص له طبيعة، لذلك له طبيعة في الترجمة تختلف عن طبيعة ترجمة النص الآخر. إذا نحن لا نستخدم نفس الاستراتيجي. We don't use the same strategy in translating all these texts, and we realize that these texts are not the same. Look at this. Now, text type. The first text is a religious text taken from the Holy Quran. إذا النص الأول قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد شو كان؟ religious text. religious text. نص ديني from the Holy Quran. And now the religious text has its own features. عند مجموعة من السمات هذا religious text أو النص الديني. Okay. text 2 is a bank leaflet. هذه نشرة من البنك نتكلم فيها عن بعض الأمور الخاصة بالبنك. تذكرون عن online banking and your username, password, and some problems that may face the customers of that bank. Text 3 is a technical text describing a certain disease. هذا قاعد يصف ذاك المرض الإنساني الخطير. هذا سميه technical text. technical text نص تقني بحت مليء بالمصطلحات، لذلك لازم يكون في عندنا معرفة بطريقة التعامل مع النص technical text so that we can translate that into English language. Look at text number 4. It is a literary text taken from the novel Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. literary text اللي قلنا عنه هذا جاي من novel، يعني من رواية. هذا شو نسميه؟ literary text يعني ايش؟ نص أدبي. Okay. Text number 5 is an official speech by the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. So هذا النص الكلام الملك عبد الله هو speech، هو خطاب رسمي by the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz. Text 6 is a poem by the famous English poet William Wordsworth. هذه أيضا التكست السادس هو نص لإحدى قصائد ويليام ووردزورث الشاعر الشهير، وهذا أيضا قصيدة ولها يعني أيضا سمات مختلفة عن سمات مثلا النص الديني أو النص التقني أو النص الاقتصادي. Text 7 is an academic text, thesis abstract. thesis abstract هذا يعني ملخص رسالة ماجستير، اللي هو النص أكاديمي، هو ملخص رسالة ماجستير academic text، هذا نوعه. The text type is what? An academic text. Okay, text 8 is a financial text taken from the Economist newspaper 1998. وهذا النص الثامن كان بيتكلم عن بعض المشاكل أو الاقتصادية المتعلقة بالمواقف في مدينة لندن. Financial text taken from the Economist newspaper، مأخوذ من صحيفة الإيكونومست، وهي صحيفة اقتصادية في بريطانيا معروفة. 1998 هذا حطيتها في العمدة، يعني اخترته في من مقالة قديمة لسبب معين عند ترجمة النصوص الاقتصادية بالذات. Text 9 is taken from a tourist brochure. You know tourist brochure يعني نشرة سياحية. إذا text 9 هو مأخوذ من نشرة سياحية tourist brochure. These are some texts that we have just encountered, that we have just seen before, read to you, and let you be able to understand that concept text types، حتى نخليكم تعرفوا شو يعني text types. هذه النصوص اللي أخذناها قبل شوي مأخوذة من هذه المصادر. Now look, we have this important thing. It is obvious that not all texts are the same type. It is obvious not all texts are the same type. You can't say all texts are the same. They are not the same. We may distinguish between political texts. We have political texts, legal texts, and medical texts. Fairy tales, novels, and short stories differ from newspaper reports, essays, and scientific papers. Food recipes, instructions, booklets, and advertisements may show similarities, but they are not all the same. Expository texts differ from argumentative text, etc. All these types of texts differ in ways that are somewhat obvious intuitively, but which nevertheless invite detailed analysis. This is important slide about text. And look at Catherine Rice, one of the scholars who talking about a translation, says views the text rather than the word or sentence as the level at which communication is achieved and at which equivalence must be sought. The text is very important for Catherine Rice, and she says it is more important than a word, than a sentence, because it gives you the ability to determine your strategies in translating that text. And look, we have some questions. Can you please just look at these questions at the end of the... Now choose the right answer. A short story is an example of a religious, literary, technical text. You can choose which one is right. 2, a religious text is like a Quran, surah, poem, short story. The custodian of the two holy mosques has addressed the nation with the speech which is considered as technical, literary, religious text. A certain text talking about a certain disease is considered as religious, literary, technical text. You can choose. You have to choose between either religious, literary, technical, and so on. And number 5, Catherine Rice views the word, sentence, text as the level at which communication is achieved and at which equivalence must be sought. I think that is all. And thank you very much, and see you, inshallah, next time in lecture number 3.